So he is no stranger to tackling obstacles. He's the founder and president of AMS Staffing. Andrew took his desire for helping individuals find financial freedom and grew it into one of the industry's leading staffing companies in the company. While Andrew has had his fair share of obstacles to tackle in the business world, there's absolutely nothing that could prepare him for what was to come in 2018. His mother, Carol, was diagnosed with ALS. And just 1 year later, a week after her 70th birthday, Carol lost her battle with the disease. Here to tell us all about his incredible mama and share his story, please welcome Andrew Sigesmund. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Susan. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Of course. Well, I am so excited. Thank you for being a very special guest on a very special episode tonight. So we're going to kick the night off with, I think, one of the most important things to talk about ever, your mom. So tell me about her. What was Carol like? Because I didn't get the pleasure of meeting her. And for all of our viewers that didn't either, tell us about her.
All right. Well, first off, let me grab it. I have one of my favorite pictures of Mom. I want to get it without the glare.
Gorgeous.
That is Mom. Thank you. She was a radiant woman. She was a conversationalist. She was kind, endearing. She always showed up, whether it was, good times, bad times. She always had our back. And, she was just very respectful of others, always there, wanted to know my friends, my brother's friends, who they were, who we were hanging out with. Wanted to know everything about us and our lives, things we wanted to share, things that we didn't want to share. But she was someone who just always showed up. And, in regards to her friends, they loved her. I mean, she walked in a room and people noticed her. She put a smile on their face. She wanted to know what was going on, with them, with their husbands, with their spouses, with their children, what school they were attending. She just wanted to just absorb as much information as possible. And she just wanted to, stick around for the extra 2 minutes to find out more. And she was just such a wonderful and special woman. And I really couldn't have asked for a better mother.
And, when we talked, what I loved about it too, is we had this whole conversation. I think nowadays, some of those qualities are really missing. We get all caught up in our own lives. Sometimes we kind of forget that life exists, other people exist, but that wasn't your mom. Right? When the stories you were telling me, I mean, she was that person that always remembered. She remembered your kids. She remembered when you went on vacation. She remembered your birthday. She just genuinely had this true just compassion and caring for other people, that she was interested genuinely.
Yes,
I love that.
100%.
I love that.
100%.
We need more of that. We need more of that in the world. We need to be channeling our inner Carols and being that person.
We definitely do. We need more of my mom. That goes without saying. I remember before when she was first diagnosed, she put together a list of everyone in the family's birthdays. So, we wouldn't forget, because, my dad, brother, and I, other than remembering our own and our, children's birthdays, it'd be, 5 days later, oh, it was, your aunt's birthday or your uncle's birthday. So she was just always thinking about other people. And she was a special woman who, gave a lot more than she got.
Mm. Special. And I mean, that alone is an incredible life lesson. So I don't even know where to begin with this next question, but what did you learn from your mom? What's maybe one of the most important lessons outside of just being a good person that you learned from your mom?
I mean, there's so many, and obviously we've got limited time, but I think it would hands down be, treat other people the way you want to be treated, whether it's, the busboy at a restaurant, the president, whomever it is, hold the door for an elderly person, for a young kid, pick things up. If you drop them on the ground, don't rely on others to clean up after you. She was just always, emphasizing the importance to, not just give back, but, treat other people the same way you want to be treated. We only live once. It's a short life. Things can happen at any given time, as we unfortunately found out. But, leave your mark on this earth as, one that, does for others as they would want others to do for themselves.
I love that. And that should be the theme of all of our lives. So we're going to keep saying that as the show goes on, because I don't think we can hear it enough. We just need to remember to channel our inner Carol.
Channel your inner Carol.
That's what needs to happen. Absolutely. Yep. Well, I mean, she was just such a vibrant, amazing, beautiful woman. And it breaks my heart to even have to say the words because we know what's coming. We know how the story ended. Your mom was diagnosed with ALS, and some things are just beyond. I will never understand the reasoning behind it. I know there has to be one. Can't say what it is yet, but
Right.
this diagnosis, we all know it. I say it on the show all the time. It sucks. You got a firsthand sort of glimpse at all of that. What was it like to witness this? Because this disease, we say, it doesn't just affect the person that is fighting this battle. It affects everyone they love, the entire family. And you were in this with her, helping, taking care of her. What was this whole thing like? How did it impact you, and how did it impact your family?
I'll go back, and we knew something was going on with mom since I think it was September of 17. Didn't know if it was vertigo. She had previously had a couple strokes, which the doctors ruled out had any correlation to do with the ALS diagnosis. But it was July 19th of 2018. We came over to talk to my parents, my wife and I, Jory, and she just kind of looked at us. She was sitting in this exact chair, believe it or not. She, said, "What's going on? We need more context here." And she said, "I was, diagnosed with ALS." And, immediately, I think, my wife and I were in disbelief and shock and started crying. My mom and dad started crying. And, um, I remember it because it was 8 days before my 40th birthday. My wife was throwing me a party, and she's like, "You gotta put a smile on your face." And I'm like, it's kind of challenging to do so. But I remember I went upstairs with my dad. I went into his room, and I just, started bawling. And oh boy, I remember saying that, someone just gave mom a death sentence. And, this is someone that, I mean, would do anything, for anyone, let alone, her two children, my brother Steven, who's out in Seattle, and my dad, and she lived for us, she lived for family. So after hearing this, it was just a state of shock, disbelief, and then immediately, I think we just kind of turned on, what can we do? We've got to get her in trials. We've got to, find a medication, and we knew nothing about this. We only knew that Lou Gehrig, played for the Yankees, 80, 90, 100 years ago, and it's something where we have progressed a little bit from a medication standpoint, but 80, 90, 100 years later, there's still no cure. So after all this happened, we met with my folks met with different doctors at here in the Chicagoland area, called other locations, had friends that were in the medical field, reached out to them, and ultimately chose North Shore University Health Systems and Dr. Octavia Kincaid. We were introduced then to the ALS Association, but to watch the disease progress. She had bulbar ALS, which is you lose the ability to communicate. And anyone that knew my mom, family, friends, she would keep you around. I mean, you could say, "Carol, I've got to go. I've got a meeting," and she would just continue to talk and continue to ask questions, continue to want to know more. So shortly after the diagnosis, the voice started getting more and more jarbled. It ultimately, she was using, at the time she was walking. Then, we had got her a walker. She had fallen a couple times, as well. And in time, she ended up in a wheelchair. She lost her ability to use her hands, lost her ability to walk. We were doing, to talk to text, which for a while worked, but, towards the end, last few months, it was, very difficult to communicate. Her texting, even with autocorrect, wasn't making much sense. But I think the greatest single-handed issue that she faced was, she lost the ability to communicate. And my mom's, voice, she loved to speak. She loved to talk. I mean, she literally, as we discussed, she became a prisoner in her own body. And, to watch anyone, especially someone who brought you into this world and raised you and, carpooled and, took you to sporting events and, took you to doctor's appointments and just did everything for you, and even as an adult, wanted to do everything for me. To watch her lose the ability to communicate, was, I mean, beyond painful for all of us, friends, family, but more importantly for her. And I mean, she knew what was happening. I remember sitting here and, I said to both my parents one night, I'm like, listen, it's going to be okay. And, she wrote, why? And I said, because you always taught us that everything would be okay, followed by, crying and hand holding and, everything else. But the disease progressed so quickly. They found out end of June. It was right before my cousin Megan's wedding, and they didn't want to bring attention to it during her celebratory weekend. Um, so they waited until afterwards to, say anything to anyone, even, my brother and I. And, a year and 2 months later, she was gone. I mean, she was, 100, pounds, normally. I think when she passed, it was high 60s, low 70s. I mean, she looked like a Holocaust survivor. I mean, it was horrible to watch her that way. She couldn't get comfortable. There was no fat left on the body. So when she was laying down in bed, she was literally sitting on her tailbone, which, is excruciating. I mean, she couldn't get comfortable. I mean, even with morphine. So to watch the disease progress, firsthand, I had a brother that probably flew in from Seattle 15, 20 times within a 9-month, period. Had a son that was, born the same day as my mom's birthday. They share a birthday. His first birthday was her 70th birthday. We spent it together as a family. We joke around with my sister-in-law. She was in labor for, countless hours. And at, about 12:30 in the morning Pacific time on September 14th, she gave birth. So, they share a day and, Peyton will forever have that day to share with his gaga. That's what we called mom, the kids did. But, she never once complained. She never once said, how could this happen to me? Or poor me, or I can't do this. I mean, she tried to spin it because she wanted to be, in some weird way, she wanted to be supportive and be there for us, even though this is what she was going through. People say, oh, it's, difficult for, loved ones and family members and caretakers. But, what about what she's going through?
Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, physically. I mean, the inability to use your hands, the inability to, stand up. I mean, the inability, it would take two people to bring her into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Countless times I would have to go in and, pick her up and carry her out and put her back in a chair because my dad, he just couldn't do it. I mean, it's, you're lifting essentially dead weight. And, so, for us firsthand, I mean, it was horrible to watch. But at the same time, what came of it was the amount of time that we spent together. We had family, from Sarasota that came in. We had family from Pittsburgh that came in, multiple times from Tucson, Arizona, aunts, uncles, not, blood aunts, but blood uncles. But I mean, we just got to spend so much time, her friends, loved ones from, over in London, one of her, best friends and cousins since growing up came in, multiple times. And it just, the most important thing in the world to her was family. My brother and I, my dad, the grandkids, nieces, nephews, and, she, even when she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, she couldn't speak, she couldn't text, she had everything she wanted. Wow. Wasn't going to do this. But she had everything she wanted, in our house. And it's because we were all together and she had such comfort in that. She just had such comfort in that. And again, it was so important to her. And I mean, she had all her boys, she had all her grandchildren. She couldn't have asked for anything more. If that's how she was going to go out, she had everything by her side.
And to have those memories, and I love that you guys were able to make that happen, that you took every second you had together and just made the most of it to make everything, you said, surround her with the people that she loved the most.
Yeah.
Duh. It's like a chain reaction on this show. One person starts and it's just done for. It's done for. I don't know. Have you been seeing the comments that are coming up? I love seeing this. That Peggy, we'll get to her in a second. She's saying how your mom was a picture of grace and just loved the family beyond measure, which is what you were just saying. I love that. And then Oh, spoiler alert. Don't get ahead of us there with
That's
that
my
comment. We were about to talk about that next. Beautiful segue. I was seriously just going to ask you about this because I mean, I wrote this down when we were talking because it's one of those things it just hits you and it stays with you. And I will always remember your mom's words in here. So your mom's favorite quote, which were sort of her words to live by, which, spoiler alert, we've already put up on the screen. So what was that quote for the people that maybe didn't notice that? And has it taken on this a special meaning for your life now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that I don't want to say found out after the fact, but in the moment, and she had little post-it notes around, but it was the worst thing that can happen to you can be the best thing that can happen to you if you don't let it get the best of you. Choose joy, and I think in this particular instance, as I just said, it's about family. ALS is hands down the worst thing that could have happened, to our family. But from that, we came together. My aunts, uncles, and cousins from Pittsburgh, and uh, my pseudo aunt and uncle from Sarasota, and my godparents in Tucson, and my aunt Judy and Uncle Richard from across the pond. I mean, we were able to spend so much time together, and it's unfortunate that catastrophes, because this is a catastrophe, catastrophes like this have to happen to bring people together.
Yeah.
But we did a memorial a couple months ago, and family showed up, people came in. It was the first time I saw my brother in a couple months. It was the first time he'd been back to Chicago since the funeral. September of 19, because of COVID, obviously. But I think it's just what she would say is, your bad day doesn't pale in comparison, and embrace what you have. Don't focus on what you don't have. Don't look at the deals that didn't happen. Focus on what you do have. I've got a beautiful wife, three amazing children, dog, great in-laws, great parents. Focus on that. Great friends, decent business. Focus on everything you have. Don't look at what you don't have, and try to just embrace it on a daily basis, because again, you never know when something can happen. If it's something, someone could drop dead of a heart attack, someone could get diagnosed with ALS. I mean, which is worse? They're both atrocious. But I always tell my wife, I annoy her about it, but I always say, give me a kiss goodbye before I go to work. She's like, I'm not giving you a kiss, just go. And I always joke around afterwards, like, honey, if a UFO lands on my car when I'm driving to work, you're going to be really pissed off that you didn't give me that one last kiss goodbye. And she's probably blushing right now or laughing. But it's just embrace the now. Live for today. Doesn't mean don't worry about tomorrow, but
Right.
live in the moment, and embrace the now.
I love that. That's just the best advice, seriously, because I think it's so easy for us to get caught up it's easy to get caught up in the negativity. Like you said, missing the things you don't have, striving for the things you're missing the moment. So I love it. You got it. And which kind of leads me to the next thing, because that quote your mom had, I mean, I was going to ask you, how did you guys turn? This is the most awful diagnosis, because there is no cure. It is a death sentence, as you said. You become a prisoner in your own body. There aren't enough medications. There's so many things we need to do to progress getting this disease cured, to move this forward. We're not there yet. So you got the worst thing in the world. And then you've got your mom's just beautiful energy, having this saying, turning the worst thing into the best thing. How in the world did you even begin to do that? Or how did you turn this awful thing into something amazing?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice. I mean, you can either sit back and sulk and say, why me, why us, and then we certainly did that, behind closed doors, not in front of mom. And I remember, she apologized to me at one point for being unable to text and communicate and being in pain. I'm like, Mom, the last thing you need to do is apologize to me. But you don't really have a choice. I mean, you have to spin it, and something that she would always want tying into, be respectful of others, is she wouldn't want other people, to embark on this journey alone, and she would want us to give back and figure out a way to make a difference. And one of the things we're doing with a matching campaign is for every dollar spent, our family is going to match it. And we want to raise money in order to provide care. The care that we had through the ALS Association, Dr. Kincaid, Peggy, Julie, Sam, and many other people that, were involved in her journey along the way. I mean, we literally had like built-in therapy. We had a question at 10 o'clock at night. What do you do? Call Peggy. She'll get back to us. I mean, I'd email her and she'd call me 5 minutes later. But, I think the care that we had, through caretakers, through Yami, who became family. A lot of people, can't get the care, can't afford the care, don't have as much family around. Maybe there's dysfunction within the family and they don't show up. But one of the things that we want to do to make a difference is be able to provide care, whether it's wheelchairs, whether it's medication, whether it's caregivers, because what goes into this, what goes into caring for someone, with ALS, you can't even begin to imagine unless you're, seeing it as we did firsthand, from, the motorized scooters to, voice recognition to, the food that has to be consumed. I mean, it's just so many different things that need to be done in order for the person to have some semblance of normalcy. I remember against my father's thoughts, I went out and rented one of those vans that was handicap accessible, where you could literally wheel the wheel the chair up the ramp. It was a motorized scooter, and we got stuck a couple times. It almost fell a couple times, but these are things that we had that a lot of people wouldn't be in a position to get or obtain, and we feel strongly as a family that we want to give back, and that's something that Mom would want us to do. So people that do go through this, at least they have a helping hand, and it's the ALS Association of Chicago is just an unbelievable organization. It's a selfless job. It's a thankless job. It is something where, every day they wake up to make a difference in people's lives. And it's truly inspirational. The people that we've built relationships with, Peggy, I'll talk to, a couple times a year, but we pick up, there's just a, huge, hug and embrace. Like, we just won the World Series, but I mean, she has become family, Julie, they show up. And it's something that can be said about the character and the character of the association. So as a family, we want to make a difference. We want people to donate, click the link, please. Make a difference, so we can help make a difference in Mom's honor, and to contribute to Mom's legacy.
I love that. And you kind of glazed over, like, it's no big deal. I love this, guys. This is in case you didn't catch what he is saying here right now. Okay, so Andrew and his family, they are doing a matching campaign right now. So if you donate anything that is donated until November 12th, Andrew and his family will match. So you donate $100, it becomes a $200 donation. You donate $250, it becomes a $500 donation, guys. This is huge, and they're matching up to $50,000. Yeah, dramatic pause. $50,000. So we get $50,000 of donations. It now, thanks to Andrew and his family, it is now becoming a $100,000 donation to our chapter. And as he said, he's seen firsthand, Andrew. You got to see how crucial all of these services are. And the ALS Association, everything that they provide is completely free. And Andrew is helping make that happen for these individuals, helping get them care, helping get them equipment, helping get them care service coordinators, get them to their appointments. You're doing this, Andrew. This is huge.
Our family, my dad, brother, and I mean, it's something that, as I said to you, it's unfortunate that we're on this call. I mean, I wish that, I only knew the ALL Association of Chicago in passing, or I saw something on the internet, but it impacted our lives. It was devastating. And, the association, they were just always there. I mean, as I said, they're just, it's a great group of individuals, like my mother, who put others, before themselves and their own needs. And it's just a testament to the association. And we're just very proud to be able to help out in any capacity. So, again, donate money, click the link, please.
Yes, please. Sam put the link up, click it. And I'm challenging all of you watching this. So we have 30 minutes left in the show. I want to see how much money can we raise. Let's get it up. Let's give a lofty goal. Let's say we're going to raise $1,000 in the next 30 minutes, because that $1,000 is going to come to $2,000. Let's make it happen. I know we can. There's a link. Click the link in the bio. Spread it to all of your friends and family. Seriously. You know what, guys? Let's spend the week giving up our Starbucks coffee. Let's give up going out to dinner one night for the week. And instead, let's take that money and put it to great use and put it to where we can really make an impact and a difference by doing this in this matching campaign, because thank you to them, everything is getting doubled. I love this so much. The comments are just flowing in. I love this. I think all of your friends and family are watching this, Andrew. Real exciting. I saw uncle, somebody was chiming in. Oh, your brother's here. Yes, exactly. Listen to our viewers. Donate. Let's just keep that going strong. No need for any other words. Just keep on donating, guys. Let's make it happen. And Andrew, I just loved our conversation together, and I loved getting to really know about your mom. And you had said something to me too. What was your mom's one wish, the one goal that she gave you in all of this that she wanted you and your family to do?
Just, to make a difference. I think that's the big thing. I mean, she would not want anyone else to have to go through this alone, to have to go through this without the means that she had. And I think, just make a difference in other people's lives. It can be complete strangers. No one needs acknowledgement or recognition. We just want to help others. And that's, that was one of the basis of her lives. Just, do for others, put yourself secondary and just do for others. And I mean, again, she was a great woman, is a great woman, left a lasting legacy. And this is just going to be one component of her legacy is just giving back. And this is something that, we will support, as long as we're around. I'm hoping my children one day will support this. But, we have to find a cure. We have to figure out a way so other people don't suffer, because, you watch it firsthand. I mean, it is horrible for what the human being that has it is going through. Family being, secondary, but it's been almost a century. I mean, come on, we've got to figure something out to make a difference. And until that happens, we want to just be able to provide as much help and support for other families as, we had during our journey.
I cannot even begin to thank you enough you said this is the family you don't want to be a part of, but you are here and we are so excited. And I know your mom is so proud of you because you are continuing her legacy in the most perfect way. And guys, there's nothing else to say. I mean, you left it on the most amazing note. Let's just make a difference. Let's again channel our inner carols. All of us need a little bit more of that in our lives, and let's just be there for each other. And we're not going to stop this fight until we find a cure. So thank you for helping us get closer to that.
Hey, thank you for having me on the show, Susan. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Hopefully I will be seeing you again very soon.
You will. Brother and dad too.
Love it. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you. You as well.
Bye.